The email was still open on my laptop when my phone started buzzing like a trapped wasp. Mom's face filled the screen, mascara streaked down her cheeks, eyes wild with panic. Lexi, thank God you answered. Something's happened to Kayla. My name is Lexi Williams, and I was supposed to be packing for Paris. Instead, I was watching my mother fall apart through a pixelated video call, while my acceptance letter from the international consulting firm glowed mockingly in another browser tab. What do you mean something happened? Is she hurt? She's not herself, honey. She had some kind of breakdown yesterday. Won't eat, won't talk to us. She keeps asking for you. Mom's voice cracked. The doctor said she needs family support right now. Close family. I could hear Dad in the background, his voice muffled but urgent. Tell her about the episode at the grocery store. She collapsed, Lexi. Right there in the cereal aisle. People were staring. She was hyperventilating, saying she couldn't breathe, couldn't think straight. My stomach dropped. Kayla had always been the dramatic one, but this sounded serious. Have you taken her to see someone? A therapist? A psychiatrist? We tried, but she refuses to go anywhere. She only wants you. She keeps saying you're the only one who understands her. I stared at my laptop screen. The Paris job started in 2 weeks. I'd already given notice at my current position, terminated my lease, sold half my furniture. My boyfriend Victor had been planning to visit me there next month. Mom, I'm supposed to leave for... I know, sweetheart. I know this is terrible timing, but she's your sister. She needs you. The camera shook as Mom wiped her nose. Behind her, I could see Dad pacing, running his hands through his graying hair. Our house looked the same as always. Family photos covering every surface. Mom's ceramic owl collection watching from the mantel. Can I talk to her? She's sleeping right now. The doctor gave her something to help with the anxiety. But Lexi, I'm scared. I've never seen her like this. I closed my eyes, feeling the familiar weight of responsibility settling on my shoulders. Kayla was 4 years younger, and I'd been looking out for her since we were kids. When she got suspended for skipping class, I tutored her to catch up. When she wrecked Dad's car, I helped pay for the repairs with my summer job money. When she dropped out of college, I was the one who convinced her to go back. What exactly did the doctor say? That she's having some kind of stress reaction? Maybe from all the pressure of finishing school, trying to figure out her career. You know how sensitive she's always been. I did know. Kayla felt everything intensely. Joy, anger, disappointment. She'd always needed more emotional support than most people. Let me think about this, okay? I need to make some calls. Lexi, please. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't serious. You know that. After we hung up, I sat staring at the Paris email for a long time. The position was everything I'd worked toward. International experience, a substantial salary increase, the chance to build something meaningful. I'd dreamed about living in Europe since college, but family came first. It always had. I picked up my phone and dialed Victor. Hey, beautiful. How's the packing going? There's been a change of plans. The silence stretched between us. What kind of change? Kayla's having some kind of mental health crisis. My parents need me to come home. For how long? I don't know. Maybe a few weeks? Until she's stable. Lexi, you can't be serious. You've been planning this move for months. I know, but she's my sister. She's asking for me specifically. There are professionals for this kind of thing. Therapists, doctors. She won't see anyone else. Another pause. So you're just going to throw away this opportunity? I'm not throwing it away. I'm postponing it. But even as I said the words, I knew how naive they sounded. Opportunities like this didn't wait around. 2 hours later, I was in my car driving home, my laptop bag in the passenger seat containing a draft email to the Paris firm explaining my family emergency. My apartment keys sat heavy in my pocket. I'd have to call the landlord tomorrow about breaking the lease. When I pulled into my parents' driveway, Mom rushed out before I'd even turned off the engine. She's been asking for you all afternoon, she said, wrapping me in a tight hug. Thank you for coming. I know what you gave up. Inside, the house smelled like Mom's vanilla candles and Dad's coffee. Everything looked normal, peaceful even. Dad squeezed my shoulder as I passed. "She's upstairs," he said quietly. "Go easy on her." I climbed the familiar stairs, past the gallery of family photos. At Kayla's door, I knocked softly. "Kay, it's me. Come in." She was curled up in bed, still in pajamas, her dark hair tangled around her face. She looked small, fragile. "You came," she said, and something flickered in her eyes. Relief? Or something else? "Of course I came. You're my sister." She smiled then, just slightly. "Guess dreams are overrated anyway, right?" I felt something cold settle in my chest, but I pushed it away. She was hurting. She needed me. I sat down on the edge of her bed and took her hand. "We're going to figure this out together, okay?" She squeezed my fingers. "I knew you'd choose me." 3 years. 3 entire years of my life disappeared into the black hole that was Kayla's recovery. I moved back into my childhood bedroom, the one with the faded butterfly wallpaper and my high school debate team trophies gathering dust. Every morning started the same way. Mom knocking on my door at 7 sharp. "Lexi, she's having a bad day again." Some days Kayla wouldn't get out of bed. Other days she'd be manic, reorganizing her entire room at 3 in the morning, playing music so loud the neighbors complained. The worst days were when she'd go completely silent, staring at the wall for hours like she was watching a movie only she could see. "The doctors say consistency is key," Mom would remind me whenever I suggested maybe Kayla needed professional help. "You're the only one who can reach her." Victor lasted 8 months before he stopped calling. "I can't do this anymore, Lexi," he said during our final video chat. "I feel like I'm dating a ghost. You're never available, never present even when we do talk. She needs me right now. This is temporary." "You said that 6 months ago. Family comes first, Victor." "I thought you understood that." "I did. But I also thought you understood that life doesn't pause indefinitely." After he hung up, I found Kayla standing in my doorway. "Sorry about your boyfriend," she said, not sounding sorry at all. "But hey, at least now you can focus on what really matters." The job opportunities dried up next. 3 different companies reached out about positions, one in Seattle, one in Denver, one back in New York. Each time I started the interview process, Kayla would have an episode. "I can't do this without you," she'd sob, clinging to my arm. "Please don't leave me. I'm not strong enough yet." So I'd send the polite decline emails and watch my career flatline in real time. My savings account hemorrhaged money, therapy sessions Kayla refused to attend, medications she wouldn't take, specialists who charged consultation fees just to tell us what we already knew, that Kayla needed intensive treatment she wouldn't accept. "We'll pay you back," Dad promised whenever I covered another bill. "Once she's better, once things settle down." But things never settled down. If anything, they got worse. Kayla's moods became more unpredictable. She'd be laughing and joking with Mom over breakfast, then screaming at me an hour later for breathing too loudly while she watched TV. She'd disappear for entire afternoons, claiming she needed space to think, then come home acting like nothing happened. "Where were you?" I'd ask. "Just driving around, clearing my head." "For 6 hours?" Time moves differently when you're depressed, Lexi. You wouldn't understand. The worst part was how everyone else seemed to accept this as normal. Mom would make excuses. Dad would change the subject. Even our extended family treated Kayla like she was made of glass. "How's your sister doing?" Aunt Maria asked during a family barbecue. "She's having a rough patch," Mom answered before I could speak. "But Lexi's been such an angel taking care of everything." I wanted to scream. Instead, I smiled and nodded and refilled everyone's drinks. It was Solstice who finally said what I'd been thinking but couldn't admit. "This is insane, Lex." My best friend since college had driven down for the weekend, the first time I'd seen her in person in over a year. We were sitting in my car outside a coffee shop because I couldn't leave Kayla alone for more than a few hours. She's sick, Sol. Mental illness isn't something you just get over. Okay, but where's her treatment plan? Where are her doctors, her therapists, her medication regimen? She won't what? Won't take responsibility for her own recovery. Lexi, you're not a mental health professional. You're her sister. I'm all she has. No, you're all she wants. There's a difference. Solstice pulled out her phone and started scrolling. When's the last time you looked at her social media? She doesn't really use it anymore. Too overwhelming, she says. Solstice's eyebrows shot up. That's interesting, because her Instagram was active yesterday. What do you mean active? I mean she posted a story, but her profile's private now, so I can't see it. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom. Kayla's asking for you. Can you come home? I have to go, I told Solstice. Lexi, wait. I think you should. I have to go. But driving home, something nagged at me. Kayla had been adamant about staying off social media. It's too triggering, she'd said. All those fake happy people make me feel worse about myself. When I got home, she was curled up on the couch, looking pale and exhausted. There you are, she said weakly. I was starting to panic. Sorry, I was just grabbing coffee with Solstice. How is she? Good. She asked about you. Kayla's expression shifted slightly. What did you tell her? That you're working on getting better. Good. She reached for the remote. Can we watch something together? I hate being alone with my thoughts. As she scrolled through Netflix, I noticed her phone face down on the coffee table. The screen lit up briefly with a notification, but she quickly flipped it over. Everything okay? Just spam, she said without looking at me. You know how it is. But I didn't know. Because for 3 years, I'd been living in a bubble where Kayla's needs came first, where my dreams were selfish, where questioning her condition made me a bad sister. That night, after everyone went to bed, I sat in my room staring at the ceiling. Solstice's words echoed in my head. You're all she wants. There's a difference. I picked up my phone and opened Instagram. Kayla's profile was indeed private now, but I remembered her username. What I didn't remember was her having a second account. But there it was, suggested in my People You May Know section, Firechild24. The profile picture was blurry, but something about it looked familiar. I clicked on it, my heart pounding. The account was public, and it was definitely Kayla. The first photo hit me like a slap. Kayla in a sequined crop top, arms raised at what looked like a music festival. Huge smile plastered across her face. The timestamp read 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago when she'd spent an entire weekend in bed, claiming she was too depressed to function. I scrolled down, my hands shaking. More photos. Kayla at a rooftop bar in Miami, cocktail in hand. Kayla at what looked like Coachella, flower crown and all. Kayla at a champagne brunch with people I didn't recognize, everyone laughing like they didn't have a care in the world. Every single photo was dated during the past 3 years, during my 3 years of caregiving hell. This can't be right, I whispered to my empty room, but the evidence was right there. Photo after photo of my severely depressed sister living her best life while I rotted away in our childhood home, watching my career die a slow death. I screenshot everything, my fingers moving frantically across the screen. The Miami trip was from last month, the same week she'd had a panic attack that required me to cancel a job interview. The Coachella photos were from 6 months ago, when she'd supposedly been too agoraphobic to leave the house. My phone buzzed. A text from Solstice. Can't sleep. You okay? I called her immediately. Sol, I need you to look at something. It's 2 in the morning, Lex. What's going on? I found Kayla's secret Instagram account. Silence. Then, send me the screenshots. I sent them all. 27 photos spanning 3 years of lies. Holy shit, Solstice breathed. Lexi, this is... I know what it is. When was that Miami one taken? Last month. She told me she was having suicidal thoughts that week. I slept on her floor for 3 nights. And the festival photos? That's from the weekend she claimed she couldn't handle being around people. Mom made me cancel my plans with you, remember? I remember. Solstice's voice was tight with anger. Lexi, you need to confront her. With what? Photos that could be old? Maybe she reposted them or… Stop making excuses for her. Look at the timestamps. Look at the other people tagged. This isn't some nostalgic throwback account. She was right. The people in the photos were tagged with current usernames. The locations had recent check-ins. The comments were all recent too. Friends saying things like, "So fun last weekend," and "Can't wait for next time." I kept scrolling, my heart pounding harder with each image. Then I found something that made my blood freeze. A video from 2 months ago. Kayla dancing on a table at some club, completely wasted, screaming, "I'm free! I'm finally free!" while her friends cheered her on. 2 months ago, she'd been hospitalized for what Mom called a severe anxiety episode. I'd spent 48 hours in that waiting room, terrified she might hurt herself. Solstice, she's been lying about everything. I know, honey, I know. 3 years. 3 fucking years of my life. What are you going to do? I stared at my laptop, where my abandoned Paris email was still sitting in my drafts folder. 3 years too late. I don't know yet, but I'm going to figure out how deep this goes. The next morning, I waited until everyone left the house. Mom had taken Kayla to what she claimed was a therapy appointment, though now I wondered if that was bullshit too. Dad was at work. I went straight to Mom's home office. Her computer was password protected, but I knew Mom. She used the same password for everything. Our childhood dog's name plus Dad's birthday. I'd helped her set up her email years ago. Her inbox was a goldmine. Email after email about Kayla's treatment fund. Transfers from my frozen overseas savings account, the one I'd set up for my Paris move. Money I'd saved for 3 years. All of it redirected into a family LLC called Recovery Solutions. My hands trembled as I opened the bank statements. Thousands of dollars. Money that was supposed to fund my new life abroad, instead paying for Kayla's party lifestyle. But it got worse. I found emails between Mom and Dad discussing my situation. Not Kayla's situation. Mine. "We need to keep Lexi here until we figure out the finances," Dad had written. "If she moves to Paris, we lose her income completely." Mom's response? "Don't worry. Kayla knows what to do. She's gotten very good at the episodes." I screenshot everything, my vision blurring with rage. There were more emails, discussions about using my canceled Paris deposit to buy Kayla a new car, plans to have me co-sign for a family vacation rental for Kayla's recovery. Even a conversation about how to handle it if I started dating again. "We can't let her get too attached to anyone," Mom had written. "She needs to stay focused on family right now." My phone rang. Kayla's ringtone. "Hey, where are you? I thought you'd be here when I got back from therapy." "How was therapy?" I asked, my voice surprisingly steady. "Hard. Really hard. Dr. Martinez says I'm making progress, but slowly. I might need you to stay close for a while longer." "Of course. Whatever you need." "You're the best sister ever, Lexi. I don't know what I'd do without you." After she hung up, I sat in Mom's office chair, staring at the evidence spread across the screen. Bank statements, emails, Instagram photos. A 3-year con job orchestrated by my own family. I opened a new document and started typing. Every detail, every lie, every stolen dollar. I was going to document everything. Because if they thought they could steal 3 years of my life and get away with it, they were about to learn exactly how wrong they were. My phone buzzed with a text from Kayla. "Movie night tonight? I'm feeling a little fragile." I typed back, "Sure thing. Can't wait." But I wasn't planning on watching movies. I was planning something much more satisfying. I spent the next week building my case like a detective working a murder investigation. Every morning I'd wait for the house to empty, then dive back into Mom's computer. I found more than I'd bargained for, way more. The family LLC wasn't just managing my stolen savings. Dad had been funneling money from my old 401k, the one I'd cashed out early, to help with Kayla's medical expenses. Except there were no medical expenses. The money went straight to a joint account that funded everything from Kayla's designer handbags to family dinners at expensive restaurants I was never invited to. "Where did you guys go last night?" I'd asked when they came home late, all giggly and smelling like wine. "Just grabbed a quick bite," Mom had said. "Nothing fancy. Kayla needed some fresh air." The receipt I found told a different story. $240 at the steakhouse downtown. My money paying for their celebration dinner while I ate leftover takeout alone. I screenshot everything. Bank transfers, credit card statements, even text messages between my parents discussing how to manage Lexi's expectations about getting her money back. But the Instagram account kept delivering the most damaging evidence. Kayla had posted a story 3 days ago, a boomerang of her clinking champagne glasses with friends, captioned, "Cheers to the good life." The location tag showed she was at a resort in Scottsdale. The same day she'd texted me saying she was too anxious to leave her room. I called the resort directly. "Hi, I'm trying to reach my sister. She's staying there under the name Kayla Williams." "Let me check. Yes, she's in our penthouse suite. Would you like me to connect you?" "No, that's okay. Just wanted to make sure she arrived safely." Penthouse suite. With my fucking money. That afternoon, Solstice came over with coffee and a laptop bag. "Okay, show me everything," she said, settling into my desk chair. I walked her through it all. The fake therapy appointments that were actually spa days, the medical emergency fund that paid for designer clothes, the family meetings I wasn't invited to where they planned how to keep me trapped. "This is insane," Solstice said, scrolling through the bank statements. "They've stolen over $60,000 from you." $63,412. I counted. "Lexi, this is fraud. Like, actual criminal fraud." "I know. You could press charges." "I know that too." Solstice looked at me carefully. "But you're not going to, are you? I'm going to do something better." I opened a new folder on my desktop labeled Project Truth and started organizing everything. Screenshots in chronological order, bank statements with highlighted discrepancies, a timeline showing Kayla's episodes, perfectly coinciding with my career opportunities. "What's the plan?" Solstice asked. "I'm going to test them first, see how far they'll go." "Test them how?" I pulled up a job posting I'd bookmarked. "There's a consulting position in London. Perfect fit for my background. I'm going to tell them I'm applying. And then? Then I'm going to watch them scramble to stop me." That evening at dinner, I dropped the bomb casually. "So I've been thinking," I said, cutting into my chicken. "Maybe it's time I start looking at job opportunities again." The silence was immediate and heavy. "What kind of opportunities?" Mom asked, her fork frozen halfway to her mouth. "There's a really interesting position in London, international consulting firm. They're looking for someone with my exact background." Dad cleared his throat. "That sounds sudden." "Not really. I've been here 3 years. Kayla's doing so much better now." I smiled at my sister who was staring at her plate. "Aren't you, Kay? I don't know if I'm ready for you to leave yet." "But you've been making such great progress. Your therapist said so, right?" Kayla's eyes darted to Mom, then back to me. "Sometimes progress isn't linear." "Of course not, but I can't put my life on hold forever." "You're not putting your life on hold," Mom said quickly. "You're building a life here, with family. That's what matters." "Is it though? Because I feel like I'm disappearing." Dad reached across the table and patted my hand. "You're not disappearing, sweetheart. You're exactly where you need to be." After dinner, I went upstairs and started working on my laptop, loudly. I wanted them to hear me typing, to wonder what I was doing. Around 10 p.m., Mom knocked on my door. "Can we talk?" "Sure, come in." She sat on my bed, wringing her hands. "About this London thing." "What about it?" "I'm just worried about the timing. Kayla's been having some setbacks lately. What kind of setbacks? She didn't want to worry you, but she's been having those dark thoughts again. Just yesterday, she mentioned not wanting to be here anymore. I kept typing, not looking up. That's concerning. Maybe she should see a different therapist. She only trusts you, Lexi. You know that. Mom, I can't be her only support system forever. That's not healthy for either of us. Just maybe wait a few more months? Until she's more stable? I finally looked at her. How many more months, Mom? How many more years? I don't know. As long as it takes. And what about what I need? This family needs you. After she left, I called Solstice. They took the bait, I said. Already? Mom just tried to guilt me out of applying, said Kayla's having suicidal thoughts again. Of course she did. What's next? Now I wait. If I know my family, Kayla will have a convenient crisis within the next 24 hours. I was right. The next morning, I woke up to Mom screaming my name from downstairs. Lexi, come quick! Something's wrong with Kayla! I found them in the kitchen. Kayla was sitting at the table, head in her hands, shoulders shaking with sobs. Mom was hovering over her, stroking her hair. What happened? I asked. She tried to hurt herself, Mom whispered. This morning, I found her in the bathroom with Dad's razor. Kayla looked up at me, eyes red and puffy. I'm sorry, Lexi. I know you want to leave, but I can't handle it. I can't handle you not being here. Okay. I sat down next to her, putting my arm around her shoulders. It's okay. We'll figure this out. Promise me you won't leave. Promise me you'll stay. I looked into her eyes, seeing the desperation there. But now I knew what it really was. Not desperation for help. Desperation to keep the con going. I promise, I said softly. I'm not going anywhere. She hugged me tight, and over her shoulder, I saw Mom mouth thank you to me. But what they didn't see was my other hand, behind Kayla's back, where I was recording everything on my phone. The performance was perfect. Too perfect. And I had it all on video. The hidden camera arrived 2 days later, disguised as a phone charger. I'd ordered it online using a prepaid card, having it delivered to Solstice's apartment. This feels very spy movie, she said, handing me the small package. Are you sure about this? I need proof they can't explain away, something undeniable. I waited until Thursday to set my trap. Mom had a book club meeting, Dad worked late on Thursdays, and Kayla would be alone for several hours. I have to drive to the city for a work thing, I announced at breakfast. Won't be back until tomorrow morning. What work thing? Mom asked immediately. Just a consultation, nothing major. Kayla looked up from her cereal. You're leaving me alone overnight? You'll be fine. Mom will be back by 9, and Dad's just working late. But what if I have an episode? Then you call Dr. Martinez, or Mom, or 911 if it's serious. Lexi, I don't think... Mom started. I'll have my phone on me the whole time. It's one night. I installed the camera in the hallway upstairs, positioned to capture both Kayla's room and the main staircase. Then I drove to a hotel 20 minutes away and settled in to wait. The first few hours were boring. The camera showed Kayla in her room, scrolling through her phone, looking perfectly normal. No signs of the fragile, suicidal girl from 2 days earlier. At 3 p.m., she made a phone call. Hey, it's me. Yeah, she's gone until tomorrow. I know, right? Finally. No, they totally bought it. Mom's still talking about how worried she is. Of course I can make it. I'll be there by 5. She hung up and immediately started getting ready. Not the slow, lethargic movements of someone battling depression. She was energetic, excited, singing along to music as she did her makeup. By 4:30, she was dressed in a tight black dress I'd never seen before, heels that definitely weren't in her closet yesterday, and enough jewelry to stock a small boutique. She grabbed her purse and headed downstairs. The camera caught her pausing at the front door, pulling out her phone to take a selfie. She was beaming, absolutely glowing with happiness. "Freedom looks good on me," she said to her phone camera, then laughed and headed out. I waited an hour, then drove back to the house. I needed to see what happened when Mom got home. Mom arrived at 8:45, carrying her book club tote bag and a bottle of wine. She called up the stairs. "Kayla, I'm home." No answer. "Kayla?" She climbed the stairs, knocked on Kayla's door, then pushed it open. The room was empty, bed unmade, clothes scattered everywhere. Mom pulled out her phone and called someone. "She's not here. I don't know where she went." "Well, find her and get her back here before Lexi comes home tomorrow. I don't care what party it is, Rogelio. If Lexi finds out she's been lying..." She hung up and immediately called Kayla. "Where are you? A friend's house? Which friend?" "Kayla, you need to come home right now. Because your sister thinks you're suicidal. That's why. I don't care if you're having fun. Get home. Now." But the best part came at 11 p.m. Kayla stumbled through the front door, clearly drunk, laughing loudly on the phone with someone. "I can't believe she actually fell for the razor thing," she was saying. "Mom's idea, but I totally sold it. I know, right? 3 more years of this, and I'll have enough saved up to buy that condo in Miami." She hung up and found Mom waiting in the living room. "You're drunk." "So, I'm celebrating." "Celebrating what?" "Another successful performance. Did you see her face when I started crying? Oscar-worthy." "Keep your voice down. The neighbors what? Might find out that perfect little Kayla isn't actually crazy? That she's just really good at manipulating her guilt-ridden sister?" Mom grabbed Kayla's arm. "Stop talking, now." "Why? It's not like Lexi's here to hear it. She's probably crying into her pillow right now, thinking about how she's such a good sister for sacrificing her dreams for me." "Kayla, I'm serious. Stop." "You know what the funniest part is? She could have left any time. All she had to do was stop caring. But she's too nice, too guilty, too fucking stupid." They both laughed. Mom poured herself a glass of wine. "Well, it's working. She canceled the London thing without us even having to ask." "What London thing?" "She was looking at some job there, but after your little bathroom performance, she dropped it completely." "Good. I'm not ready to give up this lifestyle yet. Do you know how much money she's saved us? I haven't paid rent in 3 years. Just keep it up a little longer, until we figure out the next phase." "What next phase?" "Your father thinks we should have her co-sign for the house refinance, use her credit to get a better rate." "Brilliant. She'll totally do it if she thinks it's for my therapy or something." They clinked glasses. "To family," Mom said. "To stupid, generous family," Kayla corrected. I sat in my hotel room watching the footage on my laptop, my hands shaking with rage, but also with something else, relief. Because now I had everything I needed, their own words, their own admissions, their own celebration of my stupidity. I opened my laptop and started typing. "Dear family," I began. "I think it's time we had an honest conversation." I attached every screenshot, every bank statement, every piece of evidence I'd collected over the past 2 weeks. But the crown jewel was the video file from tonight. 47 minutes of my sister and mother laughing about how easy it was to manipulate me. I scheduled the email to send at 8 a.m. tomorrow, when they'd all be having breakfast together. Then I started packing. Because I wasn't going home. I was going to London, and they were going to watch me leave. I was sitting in the airport departure lounge when my phone started exploding. The email had sent at exactly 8 a.m. By 8:03, I had 17 missed calls from Mom, 12 from Dad, and 26 from Kayla. The voicemails were getting increasingly frantic. "Lexi, honey, please call me back. There's been a misunderstanding." Delete. "Lexi, this is Dad. I don't know what you think you saw, but..." Delete. "Lexi, you fucking bitch, answer your phone!" That one was from Kayla. I saved it. Solstice slid into the seat next to me carrying 2 coffees. "How's the meltdown going?" "Better than expected. Kayla just called me a fucking bitch in a voicemail. Ooh, save that one. Evidence of her true character. Already did. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. We need to talk. This is all a big misunderstanding. I showed Solstice, who snorted. Misunderstanding? You literally have them on video celebrating how easy you are to manipulate. I know, but watch this. I typed back. What misunderstanding? The part where you stole my money or the part where Kayla faked suicide attempts? The response came immediately. She's sick, Lexi. She can't help what she says when she's drinking. So she was drinking at 11 a.m. when she called me a bitch? No response to that one. The gate agent announced boarding for my flight to Barcelona. I'd decided against London at the last minute. Too predictable. They'd probably expect me to go there. Barcelona was a complete curveball. Final boarding call for Flight 447 to Barcelona. I stood up, shouldering my carry-on. Everything I owned that mattered fit in 2 suitcases and a backpack. Amazing how little you actually need when you stop caring about other people's expectations. You sure about this? Solstice asked, hugging me tight. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. What if they try to guilt you into coming back? Then I'll remember that video of them laughing about how stupid I am. My phone rang again. Dad this time. Hi, Dad. Lexi, thank God. Where are you? Boarding a plane. A plane to where? Away from you. Sweetheart, please. Let's talk about this like adults. Adults don't steal $63,000 from their children, Dad. We didn't steal anything. That money was for Kayla's treatment. What treatment? The spa days? The designer clothes? The penthouse suite in Scottsdale? Silence. We can explain everything if you just come home. I am home, Dad. For the first time in 3 years, I'm exactly where I belong. I hung up and turned off my phone. The flight to Barcelona was the most peaceful 8 hours I'd had in years. No one needed me. No one was having a crisis. No one was asking me to sacrifice anything. I slept for 6 hours straight, something I hadn't done since moving back home. When I landed, I turned my phone back on to find 47 new messages. I scrolled through them, screenshotting the best ones from my growing evidence file. Mom, your sister is having a breakdown because of what you've done. Me? Good. Maybe now she knows how it feels. Dad, the family LLC was a legitimate business expense. Me? For what business? Professional manipulation? Kayla, I hate you. I hope you die alone in whatever shithole country you ran away to. That one I forwarded to Solstice with a laughing emoji. But the most interesting message came from an unknown number. This is Dr. Martinez, Kayla's therapist. I think there's been some confusion about your sister's treatment. I called the number immediately. Dr. Martinez, this is Lexi Williams. Ms. Williams, thank you for calling. I wanted to clarify something. Your mother contacted me this morning, claiming that you've abandoned your sister during a mental health crisis. And? The thing is, I've never treated anyone named Kayla Williams. I've never even met your sister. My jaw dropped. What? Your mother has been making appointments under your sister's name for 3 years, but she's the one who comes to the sessions. She pays cash and asks me not to keep detailed records because of family privacy concerns. So Kayla has never been to therapy? Not with me. And based on what your mother tells me during our sessions, I don't think your sister has any of the conditions she's been claiming to have. What has my mother been telling you? That she's worried about losing control of her family, that she's afraid of being abandoned, that she's been coaching your sister on how to keep you from leaving. I sat down heavily on a bench in the Barcelona airport. She's been paying you to help them manipulate me? I don't think she sees it that way. I think she genuinely believes she's protecting her family. But yes, essentially, that's what's been happening. Will you put that in writing? I can provide a statement, yes. What you're describing sounds like a form of psychological abuse. After I hung up, I sat there for a long time, watching people reunite with their families, hug their loved ones, cry happy tears. I felt nothing but relief. My phone buzzed with one more message, this time from Mom. "Please come home." Kayla tried to hurt herself again. I typed back, "No, she didn't. Dr. Martinez told me everything." This time, the silence stretched for hours. Finally, at 11 p.m. Barcelona time, I got a message from Dad. "We're sorry. We never meant for it to go this far." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, "Yes, you did. You meant for it to go exactly this far. You just never expected me to figure it out." I blocked all their numbers. Then I opened Instagram and posted my first photo in 3 years. Me sitting at a cafe in Barcelona, wine in hand, sunset painting the sky behind me. The caption read, "Turns out the only person who needed saving was me, from my own family." Within an hour, it had 100 likes and dozens of comments from friends I hadn't heard from in years. "Where have you been? You look amazing. Tell us everything." For the first time in 3 years, I had a story worth telling, and this time I was going to tell it my way. 3 months into my Barcelona life, Solstice called with an update that made my morning coffee taste even better. "You need to hear this," she said, barely containing her laughter. "Your family is imploding." I was sitting on my tiny apartment balcony, watching the sunrise over the Gothic Quarter. I'd landed a consulting job with a sustainable energy firm, not as prestigious as the Paris opportunity, but infinitely more satisfying because I'd chosen it freely. "Tell me everything." "Okay, so first, Kayla. Without your money coming in, she couldn't afford her lifestyle anymore. She tried to get a job at that boutique downtown, but she showed up hungover to the interview and called the manager a bitch when she didn't get hired." Classic Kayla. It gets better. She's been posting increasingly unhinged stuff on her main Instagram account, like full meltdowns about how her family abandoned her and she's struggling to survive. People are buying that? At first, yeah, she got some sympathy comments, but then someone found her Firechild account. I nearly choked on my coffee. Someone connected them? "Your cousin Maria's daughter. She recognized Kayla in one of the party photos and put 2 and 2 together. She commented on Kayla's sob story post with screenshots from the party account." Oh my God. The comment section turned into a bloodbath. People calling her out for lying, asking how she could afford designer clothes if she was so broke. She tried to delete everything, but people had already screenshot it. I pulled up Instagram on my phone, searching for Kayla's account. Her last post was from 2 weeks ago, a blurry selfie with the caption, "Sometimes the people closest to you hurt you the most." The comments were brutal. "Didn't you just post about being at a resort last month? Which family member bought you those $300 shoes you're wearing? This is embarrassing. Get a job." "What about my parents? Your mom tried to start a GoFundMe." "For what?" "Help Kayla recover from family trauma. She raised exactly $47 before someone reported it as fraud." I was laughing so hard I had to put my coffee down. $47? Your Aunt Linda donated 20 of it, and she told everyone at church what really happened. Now your mom can't show her face at Sunday service. And Dad? He's working overtime to cover the bills you used to pay. Turns out when you remove one income from a household budget, things get tight real fast. Good. Oh, and the house refinance they wanted you to co-sign for? Denied. Their credit is apparently trash without your financial backing. My phone buzzed with a notification. Someone had tagged me in a post. It was Maria's daughter, posting screenshots of my family's old Facebook posts about my selfless sacrifice to care for Kayla, alongside photos from Kayla's party account. "The audacity of this family," she'd written. "Lexi, if you're reading this, you're better off without them." The post had been shared 63 times. "Sol, people are posting about this online." "I know. It's become like a local drama. Everyone's talking about it." "Is that good or bad?" "For you? Good. People are Team Lexi all the way. For them? Well, let's just say your mom got kicked out of her book club." "No way." "Way. Apparently Linda told everyone the whole story, and the book club president said they don't associate with people who financially abuse their children." I opened TikTok and searched my hometown's location tag. Sure enough, there were videos. A girl I'd gone to high school with had posted a story time. So this girl I know sacrificed her dream job to take care of her mentally ill sister. But it turns out, it had 50,000 views and hundreds of comments. This is insane, I told Solstice. It's karma. Beautiful, poetic karma. My work phone rang. My boss, Carmen, was calling. Sol, I have to take this. Lexi? Carmen's voice was excited. I just got off a call with our London office. They want to meet with you about a senior consultant position. In London? Yes. They've been following your work on the renewable energy project and they're impressed. It would mean a significant salary increase and the opportunity to lead your own team. I looked out at the Barcelona skyline, thinking about how far I'd come in just 3 months. When would they want me to start? Next month, if you're interested. I know it's sudden, but opportunities like this don't come around often. Can I think about it? Of course, take the weekend. After I hung up, I called Solstice back. I might be moving to London. That's amazing. What about Barcelona? I love it here, but this London position is exactly what I was working toward 3 years ago. It feels like the universe is giving me a second chance. Are you going to tell your family? Why would I? They made it clear they don't care about my dreams. Fair point. Oh, speaking of which, you got a letter. What kind of letter? From your dad. Handwritten. Should I open it? Go ahead. I heard paper rustling, then Solstice clearing her throat. Dear Lexi, I know you probably don't want to hear from us, but I need you to know how sorry I am. Your mother and I got caught up in trying to keep the family together, and we lost sight of what was right. Kayla is struggling without you, and so are we. Not just financially, but emotionally. We miss you. We know we don't deserve forgiveness, but we're hoping you might consider coming home for Christmas. Love, Dad. That's it? That's it. No mention of the money they stole, no acknowledgement of the lies, just, we miss you. Of course. What are you going to do? I looked at my calendar. Christmas was 8 weeks away. By then, I'd probably be settled in London, building the career I should have had 3 years ago. Nothing, I said. I'm going to do absolutely nothing. Good for you. Sol? Yeah? Thank you. For everything. For pushing me to look deeper. For staying by my side through all of this. That's what best friends are for. Now go celebrate your new life. You've earned it. After we hung up, I sat on my balcony for a long time, watching the city wake up below me. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Kayla. I know you blocked me, but I need to talk to you. I deleted it without reading the rest. Some bridges are meant to be burned. The beach in Santorini was perfect. White sand, crystal blue water, and not a single person who knew my family drama. I was lying on a lounge chair working on my laptop while sipping a mojito when my phone buzzed with a message that made me smile. Your story just hit 1 million views, Solstice texted, along with a screenshot of my TikTok account. I'd started posting about my experience 6 months ago after settling into my London job. What began as a single video titled, How My Family Stole 3 Years of My Life, had exploded into a series that resonated with thousands of people dealing with manipulative relatives. The comments were always the same. This gave me the courage to leave my toxic family. And, thank you for showing me I'm not crazy. My phone rang. Carmen from my old Barcelona office. Lexi, I hope I'm not interrupting your vacation. Not at all. What's up? I just got the most interesting call. A publisher wants to talk to you about turning your story into a book. I sat up straighter. A book? Apparently your TikTok series has caught the attention of some major publishers. They think there's a market for a memoir about family manipulation and finding the courage to choose yourself. That's... wow. The advance they're talking about is substantial. Like, life-changing substantial. After we hung up, I opened TikTok to check my latest video. It was a simple post. Me sitting in my London apartment talking directly to the camera. People keep asking if I miss my family, I'd said. Here's the thing. I miss the family I thought I had. The one that actually cared about my dreams and happiness. But that family never existed. It was just a story I told myself to justify staying trapped. The video had 2.3 million views and 400,000 likes. But the comment that caught my attention was from a verified account. This is Kayla Williams. This is my sister, and she's lying about everything. I clicked on her profile. She'd created a whole new account dedicated to telling her side of the story. Videos of her crying, claiming I'd abandoned her during her darkest moments, that I'd stolen money from the family, that I was a narcissist who couldn't handle not being the center of attention. The comments on her videos told a different story. Girl, your sister has receipts. We've seen the bank statements. The party photos don't lie. Stop embarrassing yourself. Her latest video had 50,000 views compared to my millions, and the like-to-dislike ratio was brutal. My phone buzzed with a call from an unknown international number. Hello? Lexi? It's Mom. I almost hung up, but something in her voice stopped me. What do you want? I'm calling from the hospital. My stomach dropped despite everything. What happened? It's your father. He had a heart attack yesterday. Is he okay? He's stable, but... Lexi, he keeps asking for you. He says he needs to apologize properly. You mean he needs my money for the medical bills? No, that's not... We have insurance. He wants to make things right. Where was this desire to make things right 3 years ago? I know we hurt you. I know we don't deserve forgiveness. But he's your father. I stared out at the ocean, watching a couple take selfies by the water. They looked happy, carefree. Everything I'd become since leaving. Mom, I'm going to say this once, and I want you to really hear me. Dad is not my responsibility. His health is not my responsibility. Your financial problems are not my responsibility. Your guilt is not my responsibility. But family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't lie and manipulate for years. Family doesn't celebrate how easy it is to control someone. We never meant. Yes, you did. You meant every bit of it. The only thing you didn't mean was getting caught. I could hear her crying on the other end. Lexi, please, I'm begging you. Just come home for a few days. Let us try to explain. I am home, Mom. I've been home for months, and I'm happier than I've ever been. But we're your family. No, you're people who share my DNA. There's a difference. I hung up and immediately blocked the number. A notification popped up on my phone. Someone had shared my story in a Facebook group called Surviving Family Narcissists. The post had hundreds of comments from people sharing their own stories of manipulation and escape. Reading this gave me the strength to finally cut contact with my toxic parents. I'm booking my flight out of state tomorrow. Thank you for showing me it's possible. Your story literally saved my life. I opened my laptop and started typing a new post for my blog. Today my mother called to tell me my father is in the hospital. She wanted me to come home, to put aside our differences, because family comes first. But here's what I've learned. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for toxic people is refuse to enable their behavior. I posted it along with a photo of me on the beach, wine glass raised to the camera. The caption read, "Cheers to the family you choose, the boundaries you set, and the life you build when you stop asking permission to be happy." Within minutes, the comments started pouring in. You're an inspiration. This is exactly what I needed to hear today. Thank you for showing us what freedom looks like. I closed my laptop and walked down to the water's edge. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. Tomorrow I'd fly back to London, to my job, my apartment, my life that belonged entirely to me. My phone buzzed with one final message from Solstice. Saw your latest post. I'm proud of you. Also, Victor reached out. He's single again and wondering if you'd be open to catching up when you're back in London. I smiled, typing back. Tell him I'm free for dinner next week, but he's buying. I'm a published author now. Published author? Long story. I'll tell you everything when I get back. I turned off my phone and walked into the ocean, letting the warm water wash over my feet. For the first time in years, the future felt wide open, full of possibilities I got to choose for myself. And that felt better than any family reunion ever could.